These are the exercises that I used to avoid a second surgery, to be pain-free, and to have the strongest knee I've ever had. I'm going to break them up into 4 parts: restoring range of motion, releasing adhesions, then strengthening the knee and the surrounding muscles all the way from the foot to the hip, and then finally restoring alignment and balance. I'm going to jump straight into them, but I suggest you just watch them all the way through because I'm going to give you some important tips at the end. So let's get started. Now, I recommend that you do all the exercises that I'm going to show you between 10 to 15 repetitions, and then slowly increase that from 1 set to 3 sets. Many people get stuck with a limited range of motion because they hurt themselves and then they feel scared to either completely straighten or completely bend their knee because it hurts. But it's important to restore this range of motion so that the knee can get healthy and strong again. Firstly, my knee wouldn't straighten properly, so I placed could be a towel, a yoga mat, pillow, whatever you have, and then the work was to press down towards that item and then contract the quadricep muscles. In the beginning, all it was a contraction. And slowly over time, I could straighten my knee a little more and maybe even lift my heel from the floor. As I was able to improve, I lowered the height of what I was using under my knee until gradually over time, I was able to do the exercise with my leg flat on the floor. Over time, I was able to get my leg so flat that my heel lifts off the floor. Once you're able to do that, you can use a strap around your ankle to pull back and cause more stretch and contraction in your leg. It's a good idea to compare both legs so that you can see that the range of motion that you're developing is the same on both sides. Here's an interesting fact. You don't even need to do these exercises if they're too painful right now. Studies have shown that even when people visualize themselves doing an exercise, they build a similar amount of strength to those groups who were actually doing the physical exercises. Next, I worked on restoring the ability of my knee to go into full knee flexion. In the beginning, I couldn't bend my knee more than about this. I sat like this and then drew the knee towards me until I could feel pressure and pain that was comfortable and not too intense, that I could bear and breathe. I can press my foot on the floor to keep that position and then release. That releasing and contracting causes the substances in the knee, imagine a sponge, to be wrung out, and then when you release, the new healing substances come back into the knee and the waste products are removed. Over time, I was able to develop more flexibility, and here's what you can do. Put the strap around your ankle and use the strap to pull your ankle towards your buttocks. Stay here for a few breaths before releasing and doing the exercise again. Over time, you'll be able to draw your heel all the way to your buttocks. Once you can do that, it's time to try a knee flexion in a kneeling position. Grab hold of a chair or a table and take your hips back towards your heels. Pause when you feel pressure or a gentle pain and stay here. Come back and then repeat the exercise. Over a matter of days or weeks, you'll be able to take your hips lower and lower towards your heels. Let's move on to the exercises to reduce and eliminate adhesions. When you've had knee pain for a long time, it's very likely that your muscles have built up adhesions. The muscles don't slide over each other like they should, and this can cause pain, discomfort, and poor knee alignment. I used 3 devices. One was a yoga mat, homemade modified Theragun. If you want to know how I made it, leave a comment and I'll let you know. And therapeutic massage balls. You don't need to use all 3. Then here's how you would use it. Start on the top of the thigh near the knee and gently massage with the Theragun all the way up on the outside of the leg up to the hips. It's important to remember that often our knee problems don't actually stem from our quadriceps or our hamstrings. They start much higher and much lower. So it's important to explore all of these areas and release the adhesions. Take it easy with the Theragun. It is possible to bruise yourself and do too much too soon. Do the outside of the leg, the inside of the leg, including the quadricep and the calf muscle. Do the top of the shin, the top of the quad, and then we'll do the back of the legs. Notice which areas feel tight, feel sore, where you want to remain on those areas and give them more work. Over time, you won't have to massage the whole leg. You can go straight to the points of tension that you know you need to release. An alternative to the Theragun is to use massage balls. Put the ball on the floor and lean towards it until you feel some pressure between your leg and the floor. Roll the ball all the way till its other insertion point, or you can also go across it. Take some time to explore the different sensations and where you find some adhesions that you want to stay on. Over time, you can actually apply all of the weight of your body onto the ball by putting the ball directly under your thigh or your leg. Pay special attention to your hips. Remember to do your feet as well. Massage the sole of the foot by pressing the foot against the ball and going long ways from your heel all the way up to your ball, and then across the foot from one side of the foot to the other. In the arch of the foot, it's often very tender. That's a great place to get some flexibility and movement back into your foot. If you don't have either of these devices, you can use a yoga mat or a foam roller. Place the foam roller or the yoga mat, which will be a lot gentler, and put some pressure of your body weight onto it. Then you can roll forwards and backwards to create some friction in your muscle. Move the yoga mat until you've done the whole of your leg and your calf. 5 minutes is more than enough, and even do it every second day. Bear in mind that in the first few days, I could only do these first sets of exercises, but over time, I incorporated strength training. Let's see how it's done. The first exercise is an assisted squat using a chair. Feet parallel, move slowly, use your leg strength to lower yourself, touch the seat, and then slowly come back. You're not going to put all your weight down. Imagine that there is an egg under there and you don't want to crack it. Do it to whatever degree you can without significant pain or discomfort. Over time, you'll be able to do it without anything and go all the way down to the level of a chair. Once you can do that, you can make the exercise more difficult by taking one foot forward and keeping the other foot back. This will put more weight on the leg that has the foot further back. Finally, you can work on doing this exercise on one leg. The next exercise I found incredibly helpful were these hamstring slider exercises. You can do this on a wooden floor with just socks, or you can buy these sliding tools. Place the sliders under your heels. The easiest way is to bring your heels towards your buttocks, lift your hips up, and then slowly slide your heels until your legs are straight. Once you can do this exercise easily, it's time to start with your legs straight and draw your heels towards your buttocks and then go back. When you can do this, you can try lifting one leg up and just bending and extending your leg using the strength of one leg. This next exercise will help you restore your ability to go up and down stairs without pain. Start with a book, or as you progress, you can use a yoga block or even a stair in your house. Stand on it with one foot, straighten both legs. My other leg is floating above the floor. You can support yourself with a wall and then slowly bend the leg that's on a support until your heel, only the heel, touches the floor. Then straighten the leg again. Make sure to keep your hips level. One thing to notice, the direction that your knee tracks. If when you do this exercise, you notice your knee tracks in or out, pay attention to keep them all aligned. Your heel should track directly in the direction of your foot during the whole exercise. Finally, over time, I developed so much strength in my leg that I was able to do this variation. So have faith, you will progress, you will develop more mobility, strength, and reduce your pain. The next exercise is called a split squat. Start with having a support next to you. Take one leg forward, heel underneath your knee, and work on flexing your knee as much as possible, as much as comfortable. This will teach your leg to be strong in complete flexion, and it also stretches the other hip. Move in and out of this pose. Once you can do this exercise comfortably all the way, you can try it by tucking your toes of the back foot up and doing it balancing. Later on, you can even use weights in each hand. To strengthen the calves, these muscles at the back of the shins that do cross over the knee and give stability to the knee joint, try these calf raises on a mildly elevated surface under the balls of your feet. A low book is fine. You can work up to doing it on a stair. Start with both feet. Press the balls of your feet down and lift your heels up. By bringing your heels below the level of the support under your feet, you'll be stretching your calves as well. If this is too much, you can always start on a flat surface. Once you can do this exercise on both legs comfortably, it's time to try it on just one leg. And finally, you could add weights to your hands to build even more strength. The last leg strengthening exercise I want to show you, it's a strengthening exercise for the front of the shin, the tibialis anterior. Find a bench or a support like this, knees above your hips, ankles, shins parallel. Relax on the floor with your torso and your head and do the biggest, widest circles with both feet that you can. A common area is to do this exercise quickly like this, which means the movement will be small and won't have the same effect. You can work up to 2 minutes and then go in the opposite direction. Finish with pointing the foot and flexing it for the same amount of time, 90 seconds. Or 60 seconds to begin with. I hope you're getting tons of value from this video. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video to show your support and help me create more videos like this one in the future. Next, we're going to focus on alignment and balance exercises. These are possibly the most important exercises of all for many people because their knee pain stems from a misalignment. The first exercise, I'm going to squeeze the inner edges of my feet and my big toes towards a block while I have a strap around my thighs at hip width, and I'm going to press my thighs outward towards the strap at the same time. So I press my feet into the block and down to the ground at the same time as I expand my thighs outward and contract against the yoga strap. Contract, hold, and release. I'm going to do this for 2 minutes. Now change, strap around your shins, block between your knees. Now expand your feet outwards towards the strap while you squeeze the block with your knees. Expand out with shins, in with your knees, hold, release for 2 minutes. Next is inline glute contractions. Put one foot directly in front of the other, heel of the front foot touching the toes of the back foot. Just by standing in this position, you can activate your feet muscles to help you improve your balance and the stability through your feet. Hips face directly forward, and now squeeze your glute muscles and relax. If you're a little wobbly, that's okay. Stay in this position for 2 minutes and then change feet and repeat. For this last exercise, you'll need a wall. Put your heels against the wall, feet parallel, hips against the wall, shoulders against the wall, head against the wall, and just remain here for a while. Your body will restore its natural alignment by having that reference of what a straight line looks like. Lift your heels up and lower them down, keeping your body against the wall 10 times. Now turn your feet out to 45 degrees and repeat. When you've done 10, turn your feet in to 45 degrees and lift your heels up again. Press the base of your big toes down. Finally, you can stay in this position with your back against the wall for up to 20 minutes. Just this exercise alone has helped me uncontract these muscles that I have that are turning my knees inward, which push pressures on my knee. Here's some common traps that most people fall into that stop them from getting benefits from exercises like this. They focus on what they can't do instead of what they can do. Oh, I couldn't do it like the teacher was showing. I couldn't do it like he's doing. I'm not going to do it at all. Don't focus on what you can't do. Focus on what you can do. Even if it's 1/10 of what I showed you, over time you will develop if you keep celebrating those small wins. The second area that I see that's very common, they do too much too soon. The rule is less is more, slow and steady. I injured myself, for example, on the step up position by wanting to go straight to a full step and skipping those lower levels of just thin book under my heel. Not all exercises are for all people. Perhaps some of the exercises that I showed you worked for you and other ones didn't. That's okay. Every body is different and these exercises ideally need to be personalized. personalized. So if an exercise doesn't work for you, feel free to skip it. Maybe it'll work for you later on. Maybe it'll never work for you, and it's best to choose a variation. These exercises were incredibly important, but they weren't the only things I used. I also used nutrition, I used mindset exercises, and I used regenerative medicine. That's an exciting new area of medicine that you can explore too, and I suggest you watch this video next to learn more about it.